Welcome to Before I Call It a Night. I'm Tarisha, and this is a space for reflection, real life lessons, and the quiet truths that show up when the day begins to wind down. This is for the woman who's building something, whether you're running a business, climbing the corporate ladder, taking care of family, or learning to take care of yourself. Here, we talk about growth, purpose, boundaries, healing, and becoming without pretending it's easy. So take a breath, settle in, and before I call it a night, let me tell you what this day has taught me. So tonight I want to talk about something that's been sitting heavy on me. And honestly, it's something I ask myself all the time. Before I call it a night, I usually end up running through the same questions. Did I do enough today? Did I get everything done? Did I forget anything? And then the deeper question, who am I becoming? And I'll be real, some nights I feel good, like, okay, sis, I handled that. I handled what I needed to handle. And yes, I refer to myself as sis. But other nights I feel inadequate. I feel tired. I feel like I did a lot and still somehow didn't do enough. And on those nights, I start thinking, maybe I'm falling behind. Maybe I'm not doing this right. Maybe I'm not moving fast enough. And then it hits me. Sometimes, did I do enough is really me asking, was I enough today? Was I being enough? And again, who am I becoming? Sometimes I want to stop. No, not stop forever, but stop pushing, stop striving, stop carrying, stop trying to be strong, stop trying to be on all the time. And that's where it gets real because wanting to stop makes me ask another question. Why don't I stop? Like, really, why don't I? Is it stubbornness? Is it pride? Is it that I don't want to look like I didn't give it my all? Or maybe it's that I don't want to feel like I didn't give it my all, even when I know I'm exhausted. And let me tell you what happened to me today that really makes me sit with this. Today I woke up early, like 6:30, 7:30, to take my dog out like I normally would. And because it's Saturday, I decided to go back to sleep. And y'all, surprisingly, I slept until 11:30 a.m. That hasn't happened in years. And what's crazy is my my first thought wasn't even, wow, I needed that. My first thought was basically, oh my God, I slept the day away. Oh my God, I slept half the day away. I thought, did I waste time? Like, why is my brain trained to treat rest like something I have to justify? Why is my body allowed to be tired, but my mind still wants to interrogate me like I'm on trial? And that one moment, that one Saturday sleep is exactly what I mean when I say that enough question isn't only about productivity. Sometimes, did I do enough is really another way of asking, am I doing enough to deserve what I want? Am I allowed to rest? Am I still a good woman if I'm not always producing? And that's the part that messes with you. Because your worth is tied to your output. Your peace is tied to your performance. Your confidence is tied to how much you accomplish today. And that's the setup. Because enough is a moving target. You hit the goal, then the goal moves. You finish the task, and then there's another task. You do a lot, and then your brain goes, yeah, well, but you could have done more. And then you're sitting there at night, tired, still feeling like you didn't do enough. And here's something I'm learning. Some days I'm not asking, did I do enough because I want to improve? Some days I'm asking, did I do enough because I'm afraid to rest? Because rest feels like quitting. Rest feels like falling behind. Rest feels like letting myself down. And that's wild. Because rest isn't quitting. Rest is not failure. Rest is maintenance. Rest is wisdom. But when you've been the strong one for a long time, when you've been the dependable one, the responsible one, the one who figures it out, sometimes resting feels unsafe. Because if I stop, who's going to hold everything together? If I stop, what'll happen? If I stop, will I lose momentum? If I stop, will I lose myself? So when I ask, why don't I stop? I'm realizing the answer just isn't stubbornness. It's deeper than that. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't stop because I have responsibilities. People depend on me. I have goals that matter to me. I don't want to abandon myself. I don't want to look back and feel like I gave up on my own future. And honestly, some of it is stubbornness. But it's also hope. It's also faith. It's also the belief that something better is possible, even if I'm tired right now. But I'm also learning this. Not stopping doesn't mean I'm strong. Sometimes not stopping means I'm scared to slow down long enough to feel what I've been carrying. Sometimes I'm afraid if I pause, I'll notice I'm overwhelmed or lonely or disappointed or not as okay as I keep telling myself. And that's real. So, what does it mean to become who I said I wanted to be? It means I have to stop romanticizing the destination and start respecting the process. Because the woman I said I wanted to be, she doesn't just appear, she's built. She's built in the choices I make when nobody is watching. She's built in my boundaries. She's built in how I recover when I mess up. She's built in how I talk to myself on tired days. She's built when I choose progress over perfection. She's built when I stop punishing myself for being human. And one of the biggest lessons I'm learning, becoming doesn't require me to give everything I have until I'm empty. It requires me to give what I have with wisdom. Because some days my best is 100%, and then some days my best is 40%, and both can be true. Because your best is not a fixed number. Your best is what you can offer with the capacity that you have. And so let me say that again. Your best is what you can offer with the capacity you have today. So instead of asking myself, did I do enough? I'm learning to ask a different question. Did I do what mattered most today? Because enough will keep you in a loop. But what mattered most brings you back clarity. And instead of asking, was I enough? I'm learning to remind myself I am enough, even when I'm tired. I am enough, even when I don't finish everything. I am enough, even when I'm in the messy middle. Because my worth does not rise and fall based on today's checklist. And I'm not saying that to be cute. I'm saying it because I'm learning it the hard way. So if you're listening and you're in that space where you're not who you used to be, but you're not fully where you want to be either, you're in the middle. You're growing, but it feels slow. If you're tired, but still trying, I want you to hear me. You're not failing, you are becoming. And becoming takes what it takes. Sometimes it takes consistency. Sometimes it takes courage. Sometimes it takes healing. Sometimes it takes rest. Sometimes it takes starting over. Sometimes it takes telling yourself the truth. But it does not require you destroy yourself to prove you want it. So tonight, before I call it a night, here's what I'm taking with me. I don't have to earn rest. I don't have to earn grace. I don't have to punish myself into growth. I can be committed and still be gentle with myself. I can keep going without running myself to the ground. And the woman I'm becoming is not built in one perfect day. She's built in the daily choice to keep showing up, even when it's messy, even when it's slow, even when I'm tired. And before I call it a night, I want to leave you with this. Ask yourself, who am I becoming? And what does that version of me need? Not what she wants, what she needs. Does she need discipline? Does she need rest? Does she need boundaries? Does she need a moment to breathe? Does she need support? Does she need you to stop talking to yourself like an enemy? And whatever the answer is, honor it. Because you are becoming. Thank you for spending this time with me. And before I call it a night, remember, you don't have to carry everything and still punish yourself for being tired. Rest well and keep becoming. I'll talk to you soon.